Okay, we are
Okay.
recording.
Hello, we're today with Naomi and Grant, two chiropractors here in Barcelona, who have been working with us for 6 months approximately. So, yeah, tell us a bit about yourselves. How long have you been with your clinics here in Spain? And also, why did you decide to come to Spain? Because you're not from here.
Okay, I'll go. I'm Naomi. I'm from Australia. I've been here in Spain for 15 years. We have two practices. I am in our one in Molins de Rey, which I've had for 8 years. And we decided to come to Spain because we wanted to travel, have fun, throw ourselves into a new culture, and just go for it. Enjoy life in a completely different land.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You met in Spain or you met before
Grant and I in Australia.
in Australia?
So I'm originally from South Africa. My name's Grant Simpson, and I went over to Melbourne, Australia to finish my chiropractic studies, and that's where Naomi and I met. And then along the way, we decided to then come to Spain for, as she said, a change of scenery and to experience chiropractic in a different continent.
Mm-hmm. And what are the main differences that you found between chiropractic in Australia and here in Spain or in Europe?
Well, I suppose the biggest difference would be that in Australia, for example, chiropractic's recognized as a healthcare profession, whereas Spain, we're still working on getting that approval. And so that comes with pros and cons. So in Australia as well, because it's been around for a long time, and included within the medical profession, it's almost been boxed into certain types of treatment for certain conditions, specifically headaches, neck pain, back pain, cervical pain. Whereas in Spain, because it wasn't regulated, it limited what we could discuss. So it became a more vitalistic approach where it was more about correcting subluxations rather than treating the symptoms, which was a lot more aligned with our philosophy on chiropractic. And so it felt like a good opportunity to dive in deeper with that and explain chiropractic from that point of view, which is the way it was originally designed to be.
Yeah. Have you found that patients, I don't know, are more hesitant to try it, or no difference in that sense?
In Spain, no,
Yeah.
I think that people are very open and wanting to find something new to help them. I guess that's similar in what I understand in many countries is that unfortunately chiropractic can be the last port of call.
Hmm.
But when they find it, they're like, oh wow, I wish I knew that this existed. But they're very, very open to chiropractic and they really seem to understand the vitalistic concept, which is really refreshing. And they don't have, I guess, maybe years and years of conditioning that chiropractic is a back pain treatment, which is so much more than that, as we know and understand. So that is a benefit of being in a country where you can introduce, well, in our opinion, chiropractic as it really is.
Mhm.
Here in Spain, you have two clinics. Why did you decide to have two and instead of working together?
We originally were working together in Barcelona. And again, as chiropractic was a relatively young profession here, there were not many chiropractors around. Um, and so we had a friend who was actually selling a practice not too far outside of Barcelona, and it was a great opportunity for us. Someone had to take over the patient base. He had a great practice going, and so it was a perfect opportunity for us to expand.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And in regards to marketing, I guess because you've been around for so long, and also considering that in the English-speaking world, they're usually a step ahead, no, in terms of marketing and advertising strategies. What's been your experience so far during all these years, and when was the first time that you decided to start doing marketing?
We've always done marketing in different ways, shapes, or forms. Obviously, the best marketing is word of mouth. There's no denying that. However, the other avenues are very, very beneficial as well. So we used to do more things like screenings at lots of types of events, and you can still do those things. But obviously, as we know, things have changed, and online is where it's at. So
Yeah.
we first started doing online advertising maybe, I don't know, a while ago. Google ads for sure, maybe 5, 6 years ago at least, definitely. And then we moved into Facebook ads and things like that, Instagram and what have you. Not much after, maybe at the same sort of time, at 2020 for sure.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
definitely sort of during the COVID period when everyone was stuck at home and we were trying to figure out ways to continue marketing without being at events when it wasn't allowed. And our coach at the time was one who insisted a lot on pivoting and looking and moving with the times. It was along the lines of you either move with the times or you die a dinosaur. So we have to pivot and make shifts in the profession and move with the times, and that's what we decided to do back then. So it was around 2020 when we started.
Yeah. And have you noticed, because we've been working only for the past 6 months together, have you noticed any difference in the performance of results since you started the first time up until before you knew us?
Well, in the beginning, it was a bit of a bubble, as Grant just said, because everybody was at home. Nobody could travel. There was a lot more spare cash for people to use in their healthcare. That is the honest truth. So the first couple of years were very, very, very successful as far as Facebook and Instagram advertising goes. But it was a bubble, and also we were one of the first people to be on there doing it as well. So
Hmm.
things have changed, particularly in the climate of Barcelona. There's more competition as far as these kind of ads go. So they're still very, very successful. However, not we'd had a little bubble there, as I said. Yeah.
Mhm. Good. So, what made you decide to work with us when you knew us?
Okay. I was recommended to you by a colleague, and he said, I met these guys at a conference. I really like their style. And so then I looked at your Instagram and everything, and I saw the things that you were doing. I saw some examples of the ads that you've been doing, particularly. I really like your testimonial style of ads. And then I
Yeah,
had a
I remember the first time we talked, that is one of the only times that someone is told me in a call that they've seen the ads we do for other clients, because they usually don't know how to access those. So yeah.
Yeah, so it was, and I really liked your style, and that you had a platform that could help manage the leads and everything like that was really an attractive option that you were offering. So then, yeah, here we are.
Mhm. Amazing. All right, so let's start sharing a bit about the performance of the ads for the time being. Can you see the screen? Yeah, good. So, yes, we said we launched the ads on April 23rd, and we've been active for 5 months because we had a break in summertime. And during this time, we've done two kind of offers, two structures of offers. The first one that we tried for a few months was an initial consultation with the adjustment included, which was a 38% discount that went from 150 to 90 euros. And then we switched to the initial consultation, but without the adjustment, which was to 50% discount from 90 to 45. Um, Here, I want you to share a little bit why we did this change, because at the end of the day, it's not that we change the way you do the first visit, the initial consultation, you still do it more or less the same. Um, but yeah, have you found any difference that not offering an adjustment, maybe you save more time, or you can decide who to sell better? How have you found this?
Well, there's several things there. So at the end of the day, the offer ends up being kind of similar because later on they still have to buy in on an adjustment at a full price. So actually, where the initial consultation with the adjustment included came to a total of 90 euros. If you do the initial consultation only without the adjustment included and then charge a full adjustment fee, it would work out at 100. And we actually had bigger uptake with not offering an adjustment. I think for several reasons, because it's an easier buy-in for people. It's a smaller amount. where they feel like, okay, well, I at least get to try this out before I have to make too big a commitment. But they also get to know us. And then when it comes to actually having discussed their case with them and then explaining what the care plan options are, and we actually explain all the options they have, they're more interested in taking the next step and buying in bigger rather than just paying one adjustment and then stopping there. That was our experience.
Yeah. Yeah, we usually, for the vast majority of our clients, we always suggest to do adjustment within the first visit, to be honest. And this is why I think your case is a bit different, because we've seen very good results still with no adjustment in the offer. So yeah, that's something to really note. Here are the overall results. So in these 5 months, we spent 6,600 euros, and we've had a return of 35,000 euros, which means a 5.4x return on investment. We're only talking about the ads here, okay, not our service fee. And we've had an average cost per lead of 390, and we've had 86 initial consultations in total and 33 care plans. With care plans, we've only counted the ones that only spend more than 200 euros, but there are more patients as well who go maybe to the first visit and then go to a second visit, a third visit, but don't start the care plan. Those we haven't counted this, but it's still extra money that goes into your clinic. Okay, which means a 38% conversion rate from initial consultation to care plan, which is okay. Here we've counted the reports for both clinics together, and now we'll go and see the difference in both clinics. All right, but as I said, having a return of 5x, more than 5x, with no adjustment and making it profitable is something very weird, because in Barcelona, we know the competition is very hard, and there's so many chiros offering cheap adjustments as well with the first visit. So this means that we're doing something right in the message that we give to the patients, and also the way that you treat them in the clinic. So that's good. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna do the comparison between locations. The first one, Barcelona, of course, the hardest one. We spent 3,200 euros with a total return of 11,000, which, to be honest, is still low budget that we spent. Because first, during these few months, what we've really done is to establish like a new base from the performance metrics that you had before. We've improved the cost per lead, we've improved the profitability, and now we definitely want to start looking into scaling this ad budget now that we know it's profitable, and also improving the Google Ads strategy, etc. All right, so here we have an average cost per lead of 340, 39 initial consultations, and 12 care plans. And here we say that the return on investment is a little bit lower, the conversion rate is a bit lower, but the reality here is usually a Barcelona client, when you sign them on a care plan or they become a recurring patient, the LTV, the lifetime value that we get for that patient, is quite high, right? So yeah, every clinic's got its differences, and I would like you to explain a little bit before we go into Molins. What kind of difference have you noticed between this kind of patients, between Barcelona and Molins Race? Yeah.
I think what makes Barcelona tricky, and certainly the way that Facebook does things at the moment, where before we could literally try and catch clients that live in the radius of the practice, which is obviously the better clientele that are always there. What it does now, from my understanding, is if someone has even visited the area, they still get the ad sent to them. So our lead group is quite large, because you've got people traveling to Barcelona all the time for business or for pleasure, but don't actually live in the area. We have a lot of people that are transient, that come to Barcelona just for work and don't live there. So we have people that come and go. That's definitely been the thing with Barcelona, is finding it's a lot harder to target people that live in the area. Where I think in Mollins, it's a small town. If the people are getting the ads around there, it's most likely they live in the area and they families from that area. So they're a lot more local-based clients, whereas Barcelona is a lot more transient, people coming in and going out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
that's definitely true. Okay, so let's see Molins. Can you see now, Naomi? The new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so here we spent 3,000. It says 33,000, but no, that's wrong. It's 3,000. And we got a return of 24,000, which is a way higher return than in Barcelona. It's a 7.3x return on investment, which an average cost per lead of €6. If you notice, it's almost double that we get the cost per lead in Barcelona. But of course, this makes sense because there's not as much people. The audience is way smaller. So Meta takes more time, more budget to spend these people. But if we pay a little bit more for the lead, and this lead is a good lead that comes to the clinic, then it's definitely worth it. We've gotten 47 initial consultations with 21 care plans. And here as well, we see that the conversion rate is a bit higher. We've always found, mm, regardless of the client, that in the cities where the population is a bit smaller, they're usually a bit more committed than in big cities. So, for example, we have clients in Madrid who also have lower conversion rates than if the ones that are in villages around Madrid, right, like Alcorcón or so. And especially in the very, very, very small cities. For example, one client we have up in the north in Eibar,
Hmm.
they almost get no cancellations and the conversion rate is super high, like almost 60%. And that's because these kind of people in the small cities are think more committed. I don't know why. Have you found that this is kind of true or?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess there's myself and one other practice here in Molins-de-Rey, and maybe this is the same for the other towns that you've mentioned as well. I like to think that we're awesome and they want to come and see us for this, but when they only have one or two options, then or one option maybe in many of these tiny villages in Spain, then they have to go and they want to go, and so they're committed, because if they don't, well, where do they go?
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. Maybe the community, the word of mouth as well, even though they're coming as a lead through Meta, but they probably have heard of you already as well, because it's a small community. So this is very likely.
Mm.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think having two clinics, one in Barcelona and another in Molins, it also gives you a lot of authority, right? And people see that you also have a clinic in Barcelona, and it works both ways. It helps the clinic in Molins and helps the clinic in Barcelona.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
agree with that.
Okay.
It gives the trust, a level of trust for sure.
Do you like to see the same kind of patients, or you have, for example, Naomi patients from Barcelona coming to your clinic, or vice versa?
Sometimes it's not common. People tend to like to stick with the same person. However, there are a few that maybe they work in Barcelona and it's convenient because the grants office is right next to where they work or what have you. Yeah, it does happen, but not often. However, the referral thing happens a lot where it's like, oh, I want to come and see you, but my brother lives in Barcelona. Okay, great. Well, we have Grant there, or vice versa, someone from Grant, and they're like, oh, no, we have Naomi and Moline. So this happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've also had on a few occasions where people have either sometimes go between both practices because they either live in Mollins and then work in Barcelona, and on some days it's more convenient to come into one and then more convenient to go to the other one, but that would be the exception. It's not a common occurrence.
Mhm. Good. Okay. All right. And lastly, apart from the ads, I think it's also very important to highlight that we have Hero, which is a management software that we use specifically for the advertisement. Right? You use already your EMR, which is Practice Hub, where you manage all your patients and all your calendars and stuff. But with QuiroHero, what we do is we can integrate Practice Hub and connect it, and this helps us manage all the leads that come in. We can send them appointment reminders. We can sync all the leads, do email marketing campaigns or reactivation campaigns to these leads. And most importantly, we can also do WhatsApp business integration and do automatic reminders to WhatsApp, which with Practice Hub is only available for SMS, which currently today no one really answers the SMS. They may read it, but if they need to cancel or book another day, it's way better that they can answer to WhatsApp. So yeah, I know that you don't spend much time here. Mostly your CAs spend time on QuiroHero, but have you found that this is something that is help your clinic be a bit more efficient with the advertisement?
Yes, I really like it. What I really like is that the initial contact with that person or lead, it's instant, because we know from years of doing this, the quicker that you can make a contact with them, then the higher probability that they might book in. And so that's all automated by QuiroHero with personal touches from our staff. We really, really love that. I think it's awesome. Um, and the way that the leads are organized within QuiroHero is also very nice, really easy to see at which stage of the process that person is in. And the CAs can keep a really good eye on who they need to contact, who hasn't, what have you. And then also that the income generated from these people as well, you can really clearly see all of those things. So
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. Well
Yeah,
done.
exactly. If we didn't have QuiroHero, we wouldn't be able to do this report either because we couldn't see the spending or the return on every patient.
Yeah, and that it's
Yes.
directly linked with Practice Hub is awesome because that data comes straight through.
Yeah. Been convenient having everything in one place as well, where before we try to replicate similar things by having it in Trello and an Excel spreadsheet, and then after a while you're kind of losing track of where everything is. Where it's
Yeah.
all in one place, it's easy, accessible, and it's really convenient. And another great thing, which obviously with Practice Hub, one of their features is also allowing online booking. So it's the best feeling when literally you have an ad running and someone has taken a lead and then they followed through the auto sequence that comes to them, and next thing you get an email saying so and so has booked in a new patient visit, and you haven't had to do anything at all. So that's a great feeling as well when those leads are just coming in and booking their own appointments without you actually or your CA having to be on the call chasing them up all the time.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, no, you were lucky because when we started with QuiroAds and helping chiropractors, we didn't have QuiroHero, so we couldn't even measure the return, and we couldn't message the leads either. It was a bit of a chaos. So you got the best of it, to be honest.
Our timing was good.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's it. Now we're also working on our own platform, chiropractica.com, where you have your online calendar in Practice Hub. We're gonna be able to connect it there, and you're gonna have your profile. So it's more like in the English-speaking world, I don't think that's as well known, but in the Spanish-speaking world, there's this platform that's called Doctoralia, right? Where all the doctors, all professionals from different disciplines appear, where we're going to be competing with that with chiropractica.com, where you will have your own profile, your own calendars, your own reviews, and with QuiroHero, we're going to be able to automate all of this as well. So it will be a good upgrade as well.
Great. It's kind of like a LinkedIn, but like a
Yeah.
direct for chiropractors or doctors. Cool.
Yeah, but it's a way that is we see it as a new how you say it, a new channel for patients to discover you, because now they can maybe type in Google chiropractor in Barcelona, and the clients that will be with us, they will have their own exclusive profile in chiropractica.com, which is going to rank very high up in Google, and that's going to be another channel where you will be well better than other chiropractors who are not in there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds amazing.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. for the presentation.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you for your explanation. So we do these recordings trying to help other chiros with something. Maybe if they have any doubt, or we always say to all the chiros who doesn't work with Practice Hub or with any modern software that they have to change
Yeah.
to improve their clinic. So we hope that someone will learn something from this recording.
Yes, if these old people can pivot and get with the times, then these young people surely can.
I would like to save one more question for Grant and Naomi, and is that because you've been so long in the chiropractic world and running your clinics, and you've been in different countries, if there was something that you would do different now that you know all everything you've done so far, what would you do when you started your clinics?
Okay, I have one thing that immediately comes to mind. So, with all of these events and things we did over the years, we were just so excited, did it from the love of our hearts and wanting to grow and explain chiropractic to the whole world. And we didn't take people's details. So we saw thousands of people over the years where we could have had their name, their phone number, and email address, and we don't have it. So
Hmm.
that was a very big learning. So there was several years of that. So please do that if you're marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think how I would do things differently, certainly when opening a new practice, uh, I would actually start marketing well before I actually opened it. Have the leads already there, so the day you open, you already have your list of new patients that are booked in advance in your calendar. I would be marketing well and truly before I even open my doors.
Yeah, we've had a few clinics now this year who opened and straight away started doing ads, and it's worked very well for them, to be honest. Sometimes it can be a bit also tricky because you don't want your clinic to depend on the advertisements, right? And if you start slow and maybe, with word of mouth, you build a better foundation, let's say. Um, but yeah, 100% in this competitive market that we are now, if you don't do marketing, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely.
Hmm. Good. So, yeah, what would you say to other chiropractors who are looking to do marketing or open their clinic? Just do marketing and start off.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
started
definitely.
sooner
You
the
go.
better. Learn along the way. You might not have everything right to start with, but just get going. And the quicker you get going, the better, because you can always change, modify, pivot as you're going along. But just get out there and do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And it might seem scary spending that money in the beginning, but it will come back to you tenfold. You have to sometimes spend money to make money.
Yeah.
So just go for it. And then with you guys as well, that you're from here, you know the market, you understand chiropractic, which is very beneficial because there's a lot of marketing people out there like, yeah, we can help you, but they have no idea about chiropractic and what its values are, what it really stands for. So I think like credit to you guys who you've really decided to make this your niche because it does make a difference. I think it's very, very important that the people that are marketing for you understand your message. It's vital. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for those words, and also thank to you because for us it makes it easier to work with people who are committed and also know what they're doing. So yeah, thank you too as well.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.